Hello, everybody. Greetings. Hello, welcome everyone. The Cosumnes River College of Music Department welcomes you to our new weekly series, CRC Music in the Studio, where we invite artists from across North America to perform, talk about their craft, and share their experiences. My name is Kurt Erickson, and my co-host today is my good friend and colleague, Omari Tao. Hello, Omari.
Hello, good morning, Professor Erickson. It's good to see you.
Professor, we're very formal today, aren't we?
That's right. But
usually it's yo, what's up?
Something like that.
Close. Hey, so today we have a phenomenal guest artist that we are inviting to perform, to talk, to answer questions from you guys that are out watching this. So please have those questions ready, throw them up in the chat. Let me read a little bit of give the bio for Miss Karen Slack. Hailed by critics for possessing a lustrous voice of extraordinary beauty and artistry of great dramatic depth, American soprano Karen Slack has performed with major conductors in opera houses and concert halls around the world. She was most recently seen in Verdi's Aida with Austin Opera, Alice Ford in Verdi's Falstaff with Arizona Opera, and in the West Coast premiere of Terence Blanchard's Champion as Imelda Griffith with San Francisco's Opera Parallel out here on the West Coast. She was in Lytton's Porgy and Bess Suite at the Bergen Festival in Norway, Mahler's Symphony No. 2 with Lexington Philharmonic, Beethoven's Ninth with both Quad City Symphony and Alabama Symphony, and a house debut at the Lyric Opera of Chicago as Serena in Francesco Zambello's production of Porgy and Bess, which he has performed at both Washington National Opera and San Francisco Opera. Once COVID-19 shut down concert halls worldwide, her podcast, Kiki Konversations, has become a kind of viral sensation, capturing the attention of the New York Times and nurturing important conversations on social justice issues and the role of Black artists in a historically white art form. Please join me, everyone, in welcoming Karen Slack.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome, welcome.
Karen, tell us where you are. Where are we seeing you today? Where are you located?
I am located now in my hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia, and we hear that you have a Sacramento connection.
I do. I used to live in Sacramento about 4 years ago. My husband's uncle is Julius Cherry, the former fire chief of Sacramento, and his aunt, Donna Cherry, is the former assistant superintendent of schools in Elk Grove. So my husband lived in Sacramento for 16 years. We grew up together in Philadelphia, and he went out there after high school, and we were on again, off again for a decade, and then finally got it together, got married, and I moved out to Sacramento after my stint in the Adler Fellowship in San Francisco.
Wow, that's fantastic. And for the record, we had no idea you had such an extensive Sacramento connection, really.
Oh, yeah. I kind of hid out for a few years before singing with Sacramento Opera, and everyone knew me in San Francisco, but I kind of was hiding out in Sacramento and then jumped out. But yes, Sacramento is like a second, third home, following San Francisco. So
yeah, and we hadn't met yet, but I do remember when you were an Adler fellow out in San Francisco and seeing your name pop up in different productions.
Yeah, I felt like Cinderella there. They were hiding me out as well. Occasionally they would let me come out, but
well, that's great. Well, I know we wanted to jump into some music first so people can kind of see you do your thing, and then kind of have a question and answer session after that. So do you want to maybe talk about some of the music that you chose to perform for us today?
Yes, I am so excited about this short but mighty program. Recitals are normally 90 minutes, but I love this program. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to sing, and I decided on a full program of African-American women, female composers. And most of these pieces are pretty well known, some not so much, and all fantastically gorgeous, touching, pieces that I feel very, very connected to on a very spiritual level.
Great. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah, can't wait to hear him. So we've got about a 25, 30 minutes set, and then we can just go ahead and hear and experience his performance. And remember, for those of you who are out there, please throw in your questions into the chat and we'll have a great discussion afterwards.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds good. Let's hear some music. And this is the part where the music starts playing, I think.
nothing more to ask, and nothing more to give. I want to die while you love me, and bear to that still bed your kisses, turbulent, unspent, to warm me when I'm dead. Let the wind cry on the dark mountain, bending the ash trees and the tall hemlocks with the great voice of thunderous legions. How I adore Let the horse torrent in the blue canyon, murmuring mightily out of the gray mist of primal chaos, cease not proclaiming how I adore thee. Let the long rhythm of crushing rollers breaking and bursting on the wide seaboard titan and tireless tell while the world stands how I adore thee. Frailest of creatures, green as the young grass, bark with his trailing eyes on its bell note. I adore thee. You can tell the world about this. You can tell the nations about that. I tell them what Jesus has done. I tell them that the Comforter has come. And he brought joy, joy, joy to my soul. He took my feet out the miry clay. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And placed them on the rock to stay. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. About this, you can tell the nations about that. Tell them what Jesus has done. Tell them that the Comforter has come, and he brought joy, joy, joy to my soul. My Lord done just what he said. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He healed the sick and raised the dead. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Tell the nations about that. Tell them what Jesus has done. Tell them that the Comforter has come, and he brought joy, joy, joy to my soul. And he brought joy, joy, joy to down to Georgia. Mama, his messa gonna sail us down to Georgia. Yes, yes, yes. Is he gonna sail us down to Georgia? Yes, yes, yes. Down to Georgia. Wash and pray. Oh,
Oh
They
my
turn
God.
it.
Brava, 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 brava.
Bravo.
Thank
Wow.
you. I couldn't listen to it. My husband's listening to it in the other room.
You could listen to it. Well, everyone, if you could see the chat like we can see it, it is applause, ovations, brava, brava, beautiful.
I
10
think
out of
we
10.
need like a 5-minute break just to sort of like recompose.
Yeah, listen, after watching Pray Mary and I needed to take a moment, I was like, oh God, I need a moment.
Yes.
You know, just to sing after being stuck for 5 months, you know, that's the first time I've done a long program like that. Well, you know, program like that since I did a recital in February. It's the first time. I recorded a few things here and there, but nothing like that.
No, well, I've never experienced anything like that since, you know, everyone's doing their best to try and create their own online performance experience. But to me, you know, it's great, but it's just that kind of like two-dimensional. This really just reached out and just sort of grabbed us, like whether we wanted to or not.
Yes, when I was putting the program together, I was like, okay, you know, all of the things that I love, all, you know, pieces that I love to sing, and I wanted to definitely give a nice balance of art, song, and spiritual, you know, concert spiritual. And then I started going through the program. I was like, am I gonna make it through? Like emotionally, am I gonna make it through? And you know, it happened. We only had to do one take on each piece.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think I could have done more than that anyway, just where I was. And then to be in that beautiful church and, you know.
So where were you? Because there are some questions that people have started to ask, and we do want to get to those. And there's one that stuck out. There was some question about where were you, and maybe can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So my fantastic pianist, Mary Pinto, um, we call her the plug. Anything we need, Mary's like, I know this person, I know that person. And so it was Our Lady of Consolation in Wayne, New Jersey. And Brian Ferran, that's the videographer, that's his church. And so we recorded there. And we're actually recording for Marilla later in the winter in the same space. So it was nice to try it out for the first time. So Wayne is right outside of New York.
Okay. Wow.
And cheaper than New York, of course.
So as I was scanning through the questions, there was kind of a theme here where people were asking about kind of your interest in opera and how it got started. Salvador's asking what made you interested in opera. Stephen asked, when did she first begin to get interested in performing opera? Simon asked, how long have you been taking vocal lessons? Do you have any food or drinks you avoid eating or drinking before a performance? So do you want to tell us a little bit about your history and how you got into this incredible art form?
Absolutely. So Philadelphia is such a rich musical town, you know, historically. And growing up, I always listened to music. My parents never classical music, of course, but just all kinds of soul music and, you know, Motown and all that kind of stuff. But opera found me when I went to the High School for Creative and Performing Arts in Philadelphia. And my choral teacher loved opera, big opera fan. He would play Flogstad and Norman and you know, Callas when I was 14 years old. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these amazing voices. And I always had a full voice, a very high full voice, even as a young person. I could never sing with the kids in choir because I just had this big loud voice. And so in high school, I fell in love with Miss Price singing Aida. And when I was in the 10th grade, I went to see Denise Graves sing Carmen. And I knew that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, was to do that. And I really identified with opera because of the kind of voice that I had. And you know, it just something that was a natural fit. And the Philadelphia School District paid for me to have voice lessons and piano. And I've been able to be in this business for as that long. You know, I went to the Curtis Institute of Music and for my undergrad and my grad, and Then San Francisco was in the Adler Fellowship, but I can't even remember a time where music wasn't in my life. I played the violin in the 4th grade, and I was terrible at it because I hated the sound. I said if someone had given me a cello, I think my life might have turned out a little bit different, because I love the cello, of course, the closest to the human voice to the strings. But yeah, I don't ever remember a time where opera was not a part of my life.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, question about do I performances? Well, of course, the regular tomatoes and chocolate you don't eat, and drink alcohol, but all those things you can eat after. But I'm not a real avoiding certain things, just making sure I'm hydrated. Steam is your friend even when you don't have a voice. Steam is magic. And I just try to take care of myself as well as possible, mentally, emotionally, because you can put whatever in your body, but if your mind and your spirit is not right, your voice will not function at its optimum. So you have to take care of yourself in that way.
Yeah. So maybe tell us a little bit about, because some people had a question about stage works or performing art in a more intimate venue like this. What are some things that you as a performing artist relate to or grab onto, whether it's preparing for a role or performing a series of art songs like this? Can you maybe talk a little bit about your process for this?
Sure. Well, I have to say my love my 1A love is opera, but my 1B is recital, concert, hands down. I always say if I could do what I did today and coupled with some orchestral concerts for the rest of my career, I would be happy. I would be content. I will have felt like I did all the things. I love opera. Of course, it's how I came to the art form. But the collaborative aspect of making music in the smaller venues or with the orchestra, in the concert hall, I think suits me the very best. I, nowadays there is the whole thing of like, being cast 2 and 3 years out and 4 years, out, and learning a role and role preparation. Listen, if you can learn things and get them into your voice, which is not the ideal way, faster, sooner, you'll have a lot of success, unfortunately, in that way. This whole letting things marinate and, in the opera world, it's not always possible because of budgets, because of people not knowing their seasons for a year or two. That's why I like the art song. That's why I like, because I like to live with it. And then every time you do it, it gets better and better and richer and richer. Although I Want to Die While You Love Me, I learned for this, and I want to sing that forever. It's the piece I just was so connected to. And yeah, anyway, I just feel more at home in that repertoire. But again, if I'm learning an opera role, ideally, 6 months to 8 months, to get it in, get it all memorized, get it done. But I learned Tosca in 2 weeks and had to sing it. Not ideal. Traviata in a month. Not ideal, but.
Well, talking about marinating in these roles that you book so far out in advance. Well, of course, now with the concert halls shut down, and no one knows what's going to happen, how things open up, when they open up, in what shape. What's your approach now? Seeing that you called it 1A and 1B with art song, do you see yourself maybe more gravitating in this direction, just for practical reasons alone?
Yes, absolutely. Well, this is the one vein that you can really do virtually, I think, and do it at its best. In my opinion, I really feel like the concert hall and those of us who are comfortable in the recital hall will work more often, and those of us who are very creative in our projects will be the first ones, I think, to jump, because there will not the big operatic spaces, I don't think, will be open as quickly in America. So, if you can make something work, a 25 seat situation, a church, socially distanced, situation, and bringing a concert like this, I think if you can do that, things will pop off a little bit faster for those of us who do that well. But yeah, opera, we'll be back. I'm not worried about that. We will be back, and opera will thrive. It's not going anywhere. But I think as an artist, those of us who love both of the genres will be so much more fulfilled and so, I think happy. I think I answered that well. I think I did.
Hey there, this is Professor Tao over here, and I just wanted to sort of circle back to something you said about the previous questions that we were so connected to that one song, and I have to tell you, I haven't swayed, moaned, laughed, clapped, and got teary. I got my tissue here because I was so moved by the connection that you had and offered to all of us, and you can see in the comments that we were feeling that connection that you were having. So I want to thank you on behalf of all of the people that were here. Thank you so much for going there and allowing us with you on that journey, because it was absolutely, truly moving. And I wanted to ask you about that idea, that notion of connection. You are very multifaceted. You're everywhere. And first, I wanted to say congratulations on your new appointment as Portland Opera's new artistic advisor. That's really awesome. So congratulations. And we'd love to know, I mean, we have so little time. We're about our 10-minute mark now, but I encourage all of the viewers today to investigate that. There's articles that just came out yesterday, today, and that really sort of go there. But I wanted to ask you about this notion of connection. This morning, I caught a second or two, or the second half of Angel Blue's Faithful Fridays, and so did you, because you were making comments, and I'm going, how is she doing that? And she's got to sing for us later. She's going to be here part of this, and then she's going to be, you're everywhere. And then you have Kiki Konversations. I see you all the time. So tell us a little bit about how and why is this notion of connection, particularly today, how is that, why is that important to you?
Well, the one thing, and I want to be as humble as possible, because I'm not, I don't have this gigantic ego. I say that for the stage. That's not who I am. Everybody knows that. But that is a quintessential Karen Slack experience in any performance. What just happened. I don't know any other way to sing or deliver performance. To lift those black notes off those white page, that's what I do best, and that's why people call me. And in anything that I do. So that's who I am as an artist. That's who I am as a person. That's who I am as a woman, as a friend, as a wife. I am a communicator. Yes. And and someone that envelops. That's why my voice is very close to my heart. It's who I am. The quality. And so everything that I do comes from that place. Everybody that I support, I try to show up for, to give them that warmth as well, because we are all just trying to make it survive. I mean, Kiki Konversations was born at my kitchen table out of a desire to express and to share, because I was not getting asked to sing, virtual offerings very, very early on, and I'm not even sure if I could have at the time, but yeah, I don't know any other way to be.
Authenticity, right? It's
absolutely just bona fide, genuine, real.
Where can we find Kiki Konversations if we want to follow that? How do we find it?
Well, Kiki Konversations has a YouTube page, Kiki Conversations with a K, and also on my Facebook page, my fan page, and my personal page, I leave my videos up for people every Thursday at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our live. And I've been told that I have to keep doing them. Then my friends keep saying, I cannot take a break. I cannot stop. I said, well, I have music to learn. I have this whole other, I have to still sing. But anyway, and also, yes, Dallas Opera, they have the TDO network. And so they just invited me to do another show on their network, which is great, because it's going to be more journalistic than Convos is Conversation with Wine. And this new show will be something that will definitely be more industry change heavy.
Yeah. Awesome. One of our partners today is Umoja Diop scholars, African-American or Black student scholars who are sort of on a journey, of course, through education. And we think it's, of course, important to expose them to all the diaspora of art and culture that that Black people have contributed to throughout around the world. And of course, I mentioned this concert to Black faculty last week, and they were very excited. A number of them sort of mentioned that. How important is it to you? One of the questions here is in terms of, yes, Umoja in the house, Teresa Aldrich says, they're here and watching. How important is it to you to share this kind of music to all audiences, but also to African-American audiences who maybe they didn't know about Black female composers, opera singers? You mentioned Miss Price, but maybe they don't know who Leontine Price is. How important is that?
To me, it's like breathing. It's like eating. It's like, it's necessary. It's my responsibility as an artist, as a Black artist, to share my music. I could have presented you a wonderful recital of Schubert, of Strauss, of Ricky and Gordon songs, of Kurt songs. I could have done a whole very European program, but I chose to express what I felt like we needed at the time. This is what we need. We need to hear this music sung that way, and because we need to get it out. We need to, all of the things that are happening in the world, and all of the changes that are happening through a Black woman's voice, singing Black women's music. We need that kind of healing, that level of healing. Listen, when I do recital, I can't wait to get to the last 30 minutes of the recital, because then I feel like I can, oh, I have to place the voice this way, I have to do these things. Fine, of course, yes, you have the technique, but then I feel like expressively, I can just, be free to make the music the way I want to make them, without anyone saying, oh, their diction was this, which, by the way, my diction was pretty damn good. In the English, is not always the case, Kurt, I know you know that. It's not always the case when opera singers go into singing, but anyway, like, to me, it's expressing what the beauty of what we have to offer, and this has sparked a whole program for me. Like, I want to do Jackie Harrison and Undine Moore, a full concert of their repertoire. So I'm investigating that now.
Well, I sent a message to Jackie Harrison. We need to put you two in a room together. Yes. She's fantastic, and of course, I hope she's watching and listening right now. I sent a message, so we hope she's there. But it sounds to me like you find there's putting your voice in your voice. And it is sort of freeing and opening. And I think that there are a lot of students who are watching right now who needed that permission. They need to hear that.
Yeah, make the music. You have to. There's no time to waste, and there's no barriers anymore. There's no rules anymore. The rules are dead. They're done. We get to make our own rules. We get to set our own. I feel so free, although so much has been lost, of course, during this period, but I feel free.
Yes.
Look at, what are they gonna say to me what are you gonna say? When I'm singing, I'm most honest and I'm most sincere. You can judge all the this and all this other things and the high note, but who cares?
Right. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So I know we're running out of time, and there are a number of questions that we have for you.
You got to bring me back.
Well, that was one of my questions. I'm wondering what's on ground, or if we're not, if you wouldn't mind coming back, especially since you have the Sacramento connection.
Yes.
I don't know if our arts, media, entertainment counselor is watching, Mike Chappelle, who's family for you. We're hoping that you're back here. Maybe you could do a recital at CRC.
I'm there. We're family now, so.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
Or you know how to get in touch with me, so hit me up. I'm there.
I love it. We only got a few minutes left, so Kurt, I don't know if there's anything else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got one. I was looking. There's so many questions here, and Marcus had one. He was asking about how important is it for you to expose the Black community to opera, and then following up on that, I wanted to ask, just about every day you have been having these incredible conversations with these incredibly high-level Black artists, performing artists, and what have you learned or experienced over this time with these incredibly honest, intimate conversations that aren't just private, they're public? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so much of it are the conversations that we have together privately. Now that we're having them openly, I have to say quickly, the LA Opera panel with all of my amazing friends who are all fabulous singers was very emotional. Right before we went live, we had all been texting each other that morning and asking, are you okay? You know, how do you feel? And everyone was nervous, and you know, we didn't know. And so it's been challenging for us, but we understand the magnitude of the moment that we have to step into. And so when you give me the position, I step up to the plate and I do what I have to do and speak the truth. And it's been nothing but incredible for both sides. I mean, for me, and I hate that both sides. Gosh, can we get rid of that? But you know what I meant. But for me, it's important to expose the Black community and all communities to opera. They need to see people that look like me doing it at the highest level and know that we exist. Everybody needs to see that, you know, and that opera is a very diverse art form. It's just about getting through the you know, that pushing yourself through to get to the higher levels. And I think that that's going to open up more. We'll see. And if it doesn't, we will hold them accountable for not allowing that space to be broader in every way, you know, for women, for, you know, people of color, for, you know, American composers to be in American opera houses. Can we that's a whole other conversation, you know, American conductors, you know. Listen, all they have to do is give me the position and I'm ready to go. Like,
I'm excited what that means for Portland as you advise up there.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
yeah. Oh, that's why they've been checking me out. So that's why they asked me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. Well, this has just been absolutely wonderful. It's just been a real treat to have you here, Karen. We thank you again so much. And is there how can we get a hold of you? Have people who are watching, they want to experience more of your music making, what you have to say, where can they check you out?
Well, I say the best place to check me out is on Facebook. I have to say Instagram. I got a cute little Instagram, you know, account, Kiki Soprano, but basically Facebook. I think everything that I'm doing in the next season is all virtual. So the website is fine, but I'm as they know, pretty active on my social media. And and I answer questions and I friend people and all that good stuff. So always to find me there, Karen Slack.
Awesome. Thank you, CRC. Thank you, everybody in the music department, arts, media, entertainment. Thank you, Mike Bittner. Thank you, everyone, for helping us put this panel together. Thank you so much, Karen Slack, for being our guest here. This is only the number 2 of our series for the semester, but it's really our number 1 in terms of our performances and musical offerings. So we are super thrilled, over the moon, and filled with gratitude. I'm going to play this back and cry a little more as I listen to this incredible performance.
You've set the bar pretty high for us, Karen.
Oh, my honor, my pleasure. And I look forward to us all getting together and being in the same space and making music, you know?
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes.
Well, thank you again, Karen. Thank you, everyone. Please check out our series each and every Friday. CRC Music in the Studio. Hope to see you all soon.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Thanks now. All right. Is it just us now?
Looks like we still have some